Imagine yourself in a quiet cafe holding a warm cup in your hands when you notice something curious. At a nearby table, two friends are chatting. At first, it seems like a typical exchange of laughter and stories, but soon you pick up on something that makes you think. One of them is laughing, but their smile seems forced. He makes a joke about the other, something small but tinged with a tone that, for a second, leaves the other uncomfortable. "It's just a joke," he says, as if that could erase what was said. Yet there's an odd energy lingering in the air, something that stays. This scene might go unnoticed by many, but perhaps you've experienced something similar. Have you ever felt the weight of a comment disguised as a joke or a compliment that, instead of lifting you up, made you question your abilities? These situations are more common than they seem, and we often go through them without realizing how much they affect us. What lies behind these words, these interactions that leave a bitter feeling in the air? The Stoics, masters of reflection and resilience, teach us to look beyond the obvious and identify the hidden traps in relationships. Let's explore the signs that may be showing you what you haven't yet noticed. Sign 1. Jokes that undermine your confidence. Have you ever caught yourself laughing at a joke that was clearly about you? These seemingly harmless jokes can be more dangerous than you think. When someone repeatedly jokes about your flaws or quirks, it goes far beyond humor. Stoic philosophy teaches us that behind those laughs, there may be an attempt to chip away at your confidence and test how much disrespect you'll tolerate. But how much of this have you been accepting? Every time these jokes come up, a pattern is formed. Seneca reminds us that consistency in any behavior reveals intention. In this case, the goal of these people may be to slowly diminish your self-esteem, one joke at a time. Have you ever stopped to wonder why these jokes never touch on your strengths? Are you allowing other people's humor to define how you see yourself? The Stoics believed in the power of observation, and it is through this that we can perceive the true intentions behind such jokes. Epictetus would say that we cannot control what others say, but we can choose how we react to it. Have you been laughing just to avoid conflict? Are you accepting these jokes out of fear of being seen as sensitive? True strength, according to the Stoics, lies in setting your own boundaries and not letting others determine your worth. Imagine a situation where someone constantly makes jokes about your flaws. At first, you may think it's unimportant, but over time, those words start to erode your self-confidence. For the Stoics, this is behavior that needs to be identified and confronted. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that we must be masters of our emotions and not let small, veiled insults affect our inner state. In the end, the question you must ask yourself is, who is really in control? You who accept these jokes and internalize them, or the person making them? The Stoics believed that true power lies in the ability to maintain inner peace, regardless of external provocations. Is it time for you to take back control of your self-perception? Sign 2. Compliments disguised as insults. How many times have you heard a compliment that left a bitter taste? Compliments like, "You did well for someone like you," or "That's good considering your limited experience," are subtle traps. These comments are not just simple compliments. They are disguised criticisms designed to keep you in an inferior position. The Stoics teach us not to accept these words without questioning their true intentions. But can you see the manipulation behind an apparently kind compliment? These compliments are actually ways to belittle your achievements. Seneca would remind us that those who are truly secure in themselves do not need to diminish others to feel superior. The question is, why do these people feel so threatened that they must disguise criticism in words meant to elevate? When we accept these compliments without reflection, we are, in a way, accepting the limitations they impose on us. Are you willing to keep allowing this? Stoic philosophy encourages us to look beyond appearances. When someone offers a compliment that deep down feels more like a criticism, it's time to ask yourself what this person truly wants. Epictetus would say that just as we cannot control others, we can choose how to interpret their words. Have you been allowing these compliments to affect your self-esteem? The Stoics would argue that your worth does not lie in others' words, but in your own perception of yourself. A notable point about these disguised compliments is that they often come from people who feel insecure. The need to point out your flaws and compare your achievements to theirs reveals an attempt at self-preservation. But the question you must ask yourself is, why would you accept these comments as truth? Marcus Aurelius believed that truth lies in our ability to see beyond the superficial. So the next time you hear a backhanded compliment, can you see beyond the words? The Stoic path invites us to deeply reflect on human interactions. If you continue accepting compliments that feel more like insults, you may be giving up your own inner strength. Don't allow those words to dictate your worth. As Epictetus would say, what matters is not what they say about you, but what you choose to believe. Sign 3. Social exclusion disguised. Have you noticed that suddenly you stopped being invited to events or gatherings? This subtle social exclusion can easily be ignored or attributed to a misunderstanding. But is it really accidental? Stoics teach us to look at these situations with clarity. If you are repeatedly left out, it's time to reflect. Do these people truly value you as you deserve? Exclusion may seem innocent at first, but when it becomes a pattern, something is wrong. Seneca teaches us that the people around us should uplift us, not diminish us. So why accept being excluded as if it were merely a mistake? Are you allowing your presence to be seen as dispensable? Stoic philosophy reminds us that the quality of relationships is more important than the quantity of invitations received. In fact, if you've found yourself in this situation, where you've been accidentally left out, it may be time to pause and reflect. And since we are on this journey of learning together, if you're enjoying this content so far, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who could benefit from these reflections, and follow the channel for more lessons on how Stoicism can transform your life. The great danger in accepting exclusion is that you may end up believing that you truly are unnecessary. The Stoics believe that we should surround ourselves with people who share our values and virtues. Marcus Aurelius would tell us not to cling to relationships that don't add value to our lives. But how many times have you questioned the true nature of these exclusions? Is it time to face this reality and question the value of these friendships? These exclusions are not mere slips. Often they are subtle ways to push you away without confronting the discomfort of truth. But the Stoics teach us that the truth, no matter how painful, is always preferable. Have you allowed this exclusion to affect your emotional well-being? For the Stoics, accepting reality is the first step toward liberation. The real question is, are you willing to see the truth, even if it reveals that certain people do not value your presence? Sign 4. The selective "I'm busy." How many times have you heard someone say they're too busy for you, only to see that same person finding time for other activities and other people? This isn't about a lack of time, but rather about priorities. Stoic philosophy teaches us to see patterns of behavior without being misled by appearances. Have you been accepting this excuse without questioning the truth behind it? For the Stoics, time is a valuable resource, and we must use it wisely. If someone constantly says they're busy when it comes to you but finds time for others, it reveals where you rank on that person's list of priorities. Epictetus would tell us that we should value those who value us and not waste our energy on those who don't reciprocate the effort. Have you allowed these excuses to distance you from those who truly matter? The "I'm busy" excuse is a polite form of distancing. But as Marcus Aurelius would say, we should not be deceived by these excuses. People who value your company will make time for you, regardless of their schedules. Is it time to reevaluate who you allow into your life? Stoic philosophy teaches us not to cling to those who clearly are not willing to make the same effort for us. When someone constantly tells you they're busy but soon after makes plans with others, it's a clear sign of disinterest. For the Stoics, this is an opportunity to practice detachment. Are you ready to let go of these relationships and focus on those who truly value your presence? The real question is, have you allowed yourself to be a priority? Or have you accepted being the last option? Time is precious, and Stoic philosophy reminds us to invest our energy in people and activities that truly matter. Don't waste your time on those who don't see your value. As Seneca would say, life is long if you know how to use it. Are you living according to this maxim or allowing others to dictate how you spend your time? Sign 5. Avoiding physical contact. Have you noticed how some people avoid physical contact with you but are extremely affectionate with others? This behavior may seem insignificant, but it is a clear sign of discomfort and emotional distance. Stoic philosophy teaches us to pay attention to the subtle signs of human relationships. What is the body saying when words are left unsaid? Are you ignoring these signs? Touch is a powerful form of connection. When someone avoids this kind of contact with you, it's a message that something is wrong. Seneca would remind us to be attentive to the behaviors of others, as they reveal more than words. Have you been accepting this distance without questioning it? Stoic philosophy teaches us to observe and question what we often prefer to ignore. What's interesting is that often, avoided touch is not just about physical discomfort, but emotional distance. Epictetus would say that physical distancing reflects an inner disconnection. Have you allowed this distance to affect your relationship with this person? The Stoics believe that by ignoring these signs, we're closing our eyes to the truth. Are you ready to face reality? When someone avoids physical contact, especially selectively, it's a sign that the relationship isn't as strong as it seems. Marcus Aurelius would remind us that the true value of relationships lies in the depth of the connection, not in the superficiality of interactions. Have you settled for less than you deserve? Stoic philosophy teaches us to seek authentic relationships and not to accept less than that. Avoiding physical contact is a behavior we often prefer to ignore. But the Stoics teach us to face reality, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. If someone is constantly avoiding closeness, perhaps it's time to reevaluate what that person truly feels. Are you willing to accept this distance, or are you ready to seek more genuine relationships? Sign 6. They disappear when you need them most. Have you noticed that in your most difficult moments, some people simply vanish? When things get complicated and you need support, these people, who were once always present, disappear without a trace. The Stoics believe that the true nature of a friendship is revealed in adversity. But why do these people prefer to distance themselves when you need them most? This behavior is not just a sign of weak character, but also an opportunity to reflect on who truly deserves to be by your side. When someone disappears when you need them most, it says a lot about the value they place on your friendship. Seneca taught that true friendship is based on mutual support and help in times of need. If someone disappears when you are in crisis, that person is showing that they are not truly invested in your relationship. The question is, are you willing to continue valuing a friendship that is merely superficial? The Stoics believed that adversity is the greatest test of character, both for yourself and for others. If, when going through a difficult time, you notice certain people vanish, perhaps it's time to reconsider their role in your life. Epictetus would say that true presence is a conscious choice, not a matter of convenience. Have you been accepting excuses when you should be seeing the reality? The behavior of those who disappear when you need them most is not a mistake or simple oversight. In fact, it is a clear choice to not be there when you need support the most. Marcus Aurelius would remind us to be selective about who we keep in our lives, especially when facing difficulties. Have you allowed superficial friendships to remain around you, even though you know they won't be there when it matters? The truth is, crises reveal the true intentions of those around us. The Stoics encourage us not to be afraid to let go of those who are not willing to walk by our side in the storm. Are you ready to let go of friendships that disappear in difficult times? Stoic philosophy teaches us that the quality of our relationships defines the quality of our lives. Don't be afraid to release those who aren't willing to stand by you. Sign 7. They gossip about you behind your back. Who hasn't heard gossip about themselves from someone who, theoretically, should be a friend? When someone talks about you behind your back, there is a betrayal of trust that is hard to ignore. The Stoics saw gossip as a social poison, something that destroys respect and trust in a relationship. But why do these people feel the need to talk about you when you're not around? The answer is uncomfortable, but it reveals a lot about their character. When a person you consider a friend talks behind your back, they are showing they don't have the courage to be honest in your presence. Seneca believed that loyalty and transparency are the pillars of true friendship. If someone prefers to spread rumors or distort facts about you, that person doesn't deserve your trust. The question you must ask yourself is, why continue a friendship that feeds on disloyalty? The Stoics teach us that we should value honesty above all. If someone talks about you behind your back, that person is showing their true colors. Epictetus would tell us not to allow gossip to affect us emotionally, but to use it as an opportunity to examine who is truly by our side. Have you been allowing words spoken in the shadows to define your self-perception? Gossip, at its core, is an attempt to diminish someone when they're not present to defend themselves. Marcus Aurelius encourages us to focus only on what we can control, and the words of others are beyond our reach. However, we can control who we choose to keep around us. Have you been keeping people in your life who prefer to whisper in the shadows instead of speaking openly in the light of day? Stoic philosophy teaches us that it is better to walk alone than with people who erode your reputation behind your back. The Stoics believed that malicious words say more about those who utter them than about the target of the gossip. When you find out someone is talking about you, it's time to reconsider that relationship. Are you ready to cut ties with people who prefer falsehood to truth? Don't be afraid to make that decision. Stoic philosophy reminds us that inner peace is worth far more than maintaining friendships based on distrust and betrayal. As we reflect on these subtle yet powerful signs that may be present in our relationships, it becomes clear that Stoicism offers us a valuable tool, the ability to see beyond appearances and protect our inner peace. The lessons of Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius show us that we should not settle for less than we deserve, whether in friendships, relationships, or any other area of life. True power lies in recognizing when something or someone is diminishing us and having the courage to seek what truly strengthens us. Now that you know these signs, it's important to reflect on how they might be present in your life. Has the time come to make changes? Remember, the Stoics teach us not to fear the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. Opening your eyes to these issues could be the first step toward healthier relationships and a more balanced life. If you found these reflections valuable, don't forget to like the video and share it with anyone you believe could also benefit. And of course, follow the channel to continue this journey of Stoic wisdom and self-awareness. We're just getting started, and there's always more to learn and practice. See you in the next video.